Continues this afternoon of Memorial Day tributes to remember those who fought for our country and are no longer with us. Just in the past year, we've lost more than 500 soldiers from the Wilmington area for various reasons. Today, the community remembered their heroic service and sacrifice. Friends and family gathered for the annual Memorial Day ceremony at Wilmington National Cemetery to hear the names of their loved ones called. Robert Simon, a veteran who served for 25 years in the Vietnam Special Forces, had grandparents who were concentration camp survivors. He tells us he joined the military to make sure that never happened again.
I did this because I love this country. I come from a family of concentration camp survivors. My grandmother was in Auschwitz and my grandfather was in Dachau. I joined the military because never again. I never want to see anything like that ever happen again. So I did it out of love for this country.
Hundreds of people attended that ceremony, watching the presentations of colors and the rifle salute from the American Legion Post 10 Honor Guard.